Hi. So you must be aware about the Environment Audit Rules 2025 released by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. On 29th of August 2025, these rules were notified, with the press release being made available on 3rd of September this year. So this comes against a backdrop of really big concerns around the enforceability and also implementation of the environmental rules and law per se. So can you imagine that there is an industrial unit that's supposed to treat its effluents when releasing it to the stream of river, and there are rules in place that you have to do it, but actually who is ensuring that this is being done? So largely the environmental governance in India used to be self-reporting by the businesses or random checks here and there by the representatives of the PCBs, that is the Central Pollution Control Boards or the state level pollution control boards. So with the rising in the thousand number of projects around the country, this system was largely stretched, as the number of people with these PCBs were very far less than what was expected and what is actually needed to cover the length and breadth of a large country like India. So this is why the government has stepped in to basically fill this gap of enforceability and implementation and released the landmark system of environmental audit. And these rules, for the first time, puts in a structured way of independent and professional environmental audit, which is not something that is followed around the globe. It's very unique, and we will be discussing what makes it very unique. So the cornerstone or the meat of the matter in this audit system is that it is to be carried by certified professionals who will be randomly assigned to projects. So this one criteria of random allotment of projects makes this conflict of interest proof. That means that the businesses cannot pick and choose their auditors. It will be random. And this is something that was done in the year 2015 at the state level. The government of Gujarat had adopted a system like that, and the reports show that this worked well for them to reduce the bias in the system. So coming with the key features, the first is the certification and registration of these environmental auditors. There is a newly constituted central body which will be called Environment Audit Designated Agency, or EADA, which will be certifying and registering these auditors. The registration will be for 5 years and it can be renewed later. So the other feature which has been discussed is the random assignment, and scope of work is largely about giving the compliance go ahead with the environmental clearances, carrying out sampling analysis, assessing the environmental compensation also, and verifying obligation under schemes like green credit programs and eco-marks. So the conflict of interest provisions are very strong. Safeguards are very much inbuilt. For example, an auditor cannot audit a project for which they had prepared the environmental impact assessment report, and a formal code of conduct will further regulate this work. And there is a strong oversight mechanism also. The implementation will be done by a steering committee set up by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, chaired by an additional secretary level officer, to handle challenges and recommend further reforms, which will be based on how the system plays out in the future. So the expectations of the government are pretty much clear from what has been given out in the public domain. The first is that the government is looking for certified third-party verification of your environmental claims as to what the environmental performance that you have been claiming in your self-filings, are they verified, or will they stand this test of audit? The second is that also enhance the capacity of the regulators, which are very much stretched already. So this will provide the regulators with the credible reports by certified auditors, based on which they will be taking action. Third is that the digitization, standardization of these audit reports will be undertaken, which will improve policy making and risk detection. And finally, the focus is on transparency and improving the accountability, and this is being done to further reinforce faith of the international community, investors, and the larger stakeholders towards the sustainability reporting of these businesses. So who are actually affected by these rules? These will be majorly the large industries which have a larger environmental impact, such as manufacturing, mining, and also energy, but also MSMEs can be impacted, and this will provide a credible roadmap for them to also ensure that their businesses or their conduct is aligned with the environmental expectations of the government. And also investors will get credible ESG data, and so is the regulator, who will be rest assured about the performance of these businesses. and citizens will see a stronger protection of air, water, and forest, maybe cleaner air to breathe in the future for our future generations. So, when I saw that globally, is there a system that kind of replicates what is being done in India? So I could see that there is United States EPA's audit policy, which encourages voluntary self-audits where companies can disclose actually incorrect violations for reduced penalties. Mexico's PROFEPA program, it's an acronym for a larger name. It certifies industries through environmental audits, but auditors are engaged by the companies themselves. Chile's Environmental Audit Authority accredits technical entities to carry out inspections. Indonesia's proper program publicly rates industrial facilities on compliance and performance. So basically, there is a practice of third-party accredited parties to undertake audits around the globe, but the random allotment is something that is very unique to India. And just two quick clarifications. Are these rules already in force? Yes, these were notified on 29th August, so they are very much in force. And will they be replacing the CPCBs or the SPCBs? No, the auditors will reinforce the work of CPCBs and SPCBs and provide them with the necessary support wherever needed. So the Environment Audit Rules 2025, in short, marks a pivotal moment for the environmental governance in India. It brings in certified auditors, random allotment, digitized reporting, and greater oversight over the entire framework of environmental governance. It signals India's seriousness about environmental accountability and transparency. So this is more than a reform. I could say that it's a step toward credible and transparent environmental stewardship, and I think that is what matters. Thank you for watching, and looking forward to your comments on this video in the comment section. Thank you.